You're listening to Ecast Podcast.
You said your time with the Thunder didn't pay off. It's not our fault you choked in the play.
Welcome, Ecast Nation. It's good to have you back for a Midsummer's podcast for a nice, very, let's say, nice podcast. Today, we will go through, we have a very nice interview with a very helpful man who pretty much got all the printing done throughout the year for Ecast. Then we have some jobs that we want to get to. We have a YouTube, and I have a surprise for you guys, all coming up. So, first, I just want to say you can see Ecast online at sites.google.com/view/ecastnews/home?auth user equals 3. Also, email ecastnews@gmail.com to reserve. I would suggest reserving a newspaper because looking at it, you have to request access for it on the through the site since you can't necessarily get it when you go to the site. We're trying to fix that. Bear with me. Thank you. I just want to welcome a very nice guy here. Terry, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Catcher. I'm really excited about this.
Yes. Terry, we have some questions for you. First, when did you first hear about Ecast?
I kept hearing about Ecast whenever I would go hang out at 333 and see Catcher and Arlo and Ezra sort of hanging out, and they were always talking in code. I never understood what they meant, but I hear the word Ecast come up a lot. And there was something about a nut war.
Yes, the Nut War. We also are trying to figure out maybe a Nut War book, a Nut War podcast, Nut War documentary. Thank you for bringing that up, Terry. I'll get more into that later in the podcast. We'll talk about that a long time. Thank you. Terry, another question. Why did you help Ecast, and in what ways did you help?
Well, I helped Ecast make their deadlines. All the work would get done during the week, and then it would go to the publisher, and the publisher would send a link to me to ask me to print them up. So I'd usually print them up while I was working. A couple of times didn't get to, and I had to rush in and do it Friday morning before the publication went out. But I chose because I support good journalism, and I feel like these reporters are top-notch.
Yeah. Also, what is, how do you feel on the new Ecast coming into the next year?
I'm very excited to see Ecast kind of jump from 333 to 601. That's going to bring a wider audience to Ecast. It will also be something that I believe the students that are working on it will become more informed as they go into 5th grade, as there's a lot of talk about things happening in the world in 5th grade. I believe that Sophie brings an exceptional critical eye to the paper, and I think that she will have a great oversight to make sure that everything...
She is the draft analyst, yes.
Yeah, to make sure that everything is, it moved up to middle school level.
How do you feel on the, a couple more questions and you go, and we'll also get to all the new stuff in Ecast later. How do you feel on the new guest articles where people will, a new person will, each week, as someone who's not on the Ecast writing staff, will share their mind in a guest article, and basically the guest article, like if someone is running a pride...
The news and telling us about the news, more informed we'll all get. I do think that Ecast needs to be inclusive and let everybody have a chance to write for them at one point.
One more question, and you go. What is how we Ecast is thinking about making a politics, including politics, into their newspaper for middle school. We will to put it to so you can get the non-politics or politics for middle school parents, teachers, whatever, for whoever wants the politics part. How do you feel on that one?
Well, I do think it's going to be an election year next year, when we get to 2020, and I think that there's a lot of politics that young 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13, 14-year-olds, they're very excited about. I do think that it's hard to write about politics in a newspaper because you have to try to stay neutral. And with the political climate today, it's very hard to be neutral.
Well, thank you so much, Terry, and yeah. Okay, everybody, I'm going to get into jobs at this second, so bear with me. I'm going to pull it up. So, the new Ecast jobs, and Terry, you can jump in if you want to. So, the founders are Arlo, Ketcher, Ezra, and Sophie. Writers, including Arlo, Ketcher, Ezra, and Sophie. Lincoln, Parker, Alex, and then the customer service. So, if you have any complaints, go to Nico. The assembly manager, if you have any questions about the assembly, anyway, contact Sabri. Our printing manager is Ketcher, and just that is making sure it gets printed, reaching out to, you wouldn't really have to go his way. Tech manager is Ketcher, so if you have any questions about Ecast News Tech, that. HR, if you want a job at Ecast, that is who you go to. And the guest article manager, Alex, and I'm going to talk about guest articles later. We already kind of talked about it already. And yeah. Lower school communications, Ezra. Middle school communications, Arlo. And draft analyst is Sophie. I mean, look, those are the pretty much new jobs. I pretty much covered everything in that one. And so also Ecast News has a YouTube channel. If you're not listening to the podcast on YouTube right now, we are trying to figure out how to put it on YouTube. Because when I'm filming this, it's not on YouTube. It's just an email part. So if we don't get it on YouTube by time you hear it, just keep getting Ecast podcasts by emailing us before we tell you not to. We're going to go into commercial, and then we will be back.
Back off? Georgia Warriors thinking you wouldn't piss Russ off? Nah, but your respect levels, they fell off. Humble young boy out of D.C. Now you're taking shots at OKC? It's not our fault you ain't win MVP. It's not our fault your best friend Draymond Green.
This part of the podcast is sponsored by Mighty Soap. Good for your skin, good for the earth. Also, get Mighty Soap at mightysoap.equid.com. We're also sponsored by Old Game Boy Comics. Get it at oldgameboycomics.com.
Now you're taking shots at OKC? It's not our fault you ain't win MVP. It's not our fault your best friend Draymond Green. Loyalty? That's a no-no.
Well, now I'm going to talk about what is new in the Ecast for the Ecast Nation, the best nation in the world, as you could say. Now, you just heard Terry speak. You're hearing me speak. Well, if you you just heard Lost and Unbound speak, well, if you want to have a new song in the Ecast podcast, contact us at ecastnews@gmail.com for more to suggest a song. I pretty much can do any song you want, whether it's legal or not. So, just do that. I don't know, we might cut that part out, but who knows. Anyways, we're coming into 10 minutes now. I'll try to cut it short. So, Also, if you want to have a guest article, just reach out. That guy will contact. And thank you so much. We might have another one, but that was just a what a podcast, everybody. I just do want to say we might also add sports scores. No, we are adding sports scores. And also, if you're ever wondering, the cover of Ecast is the athlete of the week. Also, sports scores. We might do standings. We're still debating. Thank you so much, Ecast Nation. And I think that is a good note to go off on. If I have anything to add, I will add. So, thank you so much.
Crazy like Manolo, eyes wide like he on the cocoa, but he ain't on the cocoa. He ain't on the cocoa. He just dissing you on the low.
Thank you so much, Terry Ashkenos, Arlo Greer, Catcher Ashkenos, and more. And also, thank you, Fahrenheit Pro.
Win MVP? It's not our fault, you best friend Draymond Green. What's a snake's favorite